Hey now, you're a math star, get your game on. Go count. Hey now, you're a math star, get your game on. Go add. When all that counting is done, we'll be adding sums. Hey math stars, how are you today? Well, today is going to be a fabulous day to do some math. We are in module 11, lesson 7. It's the last 7 or the last lesson for this module. So let's go ahead. Yesterday we did subtraction equations. Today, what are we going to do? I can draw to represent an addition or subtraction word problem and write the equation. This is going to be tricky because you've done addition and you've done subtraction. This time you have to figure out which one it is. Are we adding to a group or are we taking away? So remember, for addition, we have two groups that we're putting together. That's the plus, right? Addition. And for subtraction, we have a group that we are splitting apart. So it's like a subtraction, see, like a minus sign, okay, that we're splitting apart. So you really have to be listening to the story to figure out, am I going to add to or am I going to take away or separate? All right, so let's get started. Here we go. Page 299. This is what it looks like. 299. Ooh, there's a forest that maybe wouldn't be the safest place to be. Do you think? I mean, those bears are really cute, but if they were real bears, maybe you wouldn't want to go visit. But let's look. Look at the picture. Tell a subtraction word problem about the bears. Talk about how many bears there are to start with and mark an X on the bears that leave. How many are still in the woods? Write an equation to model the problem. So they told you it's going to be subtraction. So we already know we're going to take away, right? So since we already know we're going to take away because they told us, let's just go ahead and write a minus sign here. Okay, let's count how many bears there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bears. Remember, in subtraction, we have a whole group and we're going to split them apart or take away. So we want to have our total number. So here we go. Here's my story. Can your story be different? It can, but you need to use the same numbers. So there were 4 brown bears in the forest, and 3 of them got hungry and went away. How many were still in the forest? So remember, we're going to cross off the ones that are leaving. So what was my first number? I'm going to say the story again and give you a ding to help you remember or to trigger you that you need to know, you need to write that number. Ready? There were 7 brown bears, ding, 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 in the forest, but 3 of them got hungry, ding, 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 and left. How many are there now? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 are still there. Now, the important thing is, does my equation match my picture? Well, 7. Are there 7 to start with? Yes. And are 3 leaving? Take away 3? Yes. And are there 4 left? Yes. So it matches. All right, you can pause this if you want while you're working. All right, next page. Here we go. Think of a group of animals and more animals joining them. Think of a group of animals and more joining them. Is that going to be addition or subtraction? What do you think? If we have 2 groups or we have a group and more is joining, it's going to be a plus. Yes, addition. So I'm just going to write that in there. Now let's listen to the story. Oh, you get to come up with your own story. Think of a group of animals and more animals joining them. Tell an addition problem about adding to a group using numbers within 10. Use drawings to represent and solve the problem. Write the equation to model the problem. So within 10. That means our answer right here is not going to be more than 10. Okay, so if I did 10 birds and 10 more joining them, would my answer be more than 10? Yes, so that wouldn't work. We need it to be within 10. So I'm going to come up with a story. You can come up with your own, but I'm just going to give you an example. Okay, so, and I'm not going to actually draw the animals, but you can draw the animals, or you can just draw shapes to represent. So there were 3 pink bunnies sitting under the tree, and then 5 more joined them. All right, so what were my numbers that I did? Let me read the problem again. I'll say the problem again. There were 3 bunnies under the tree. Ding, 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 ding. And 5 more, ding, 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 joined them. How many are there altogether? How many are under the tree now? So my first number, there were 3 to start with. And how many joined them? That's a plus because we have 3 and we have more joining them. 5 equals, how many are there now? Well, let's count. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. All right, that's my story. That doesn't have to be your story. You can make up all on your own. You can choose different animals, whatever you want. Go ahead and pause this while you go ahead and do that problem. All right. Ooh, nice playground here. Swing set, slide, sandbox. It's got all the makings of a fun day. Think of a group of children. Some of the children leave. If I have a group of children and some of them leave, am I adding to or am I taking away? I'm taking away, so it's going to be a subtraction problem. So I'm going to draw right now my minus. All right. So you get to tell your own story with using numbers within 10. Remember, for subtraction, that means our total number that we're starting with is not going to be more than 10. Okay, so we're not starting with 13 kids. We're starting with 10 or less. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One of those numbers. Okay, and then use drawings to represent and solve the problem. Then you're going to write an equation and make sure it models the problem. So let me go ahead, friends, and I'm going to come up with a story. Can your story be different? Absolutely. All right. I'm going to say that there are 8 children on the playground. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 children on the playground. And I'm going to say, that 4 of them went home. So there were 8 children on the playground and 4 of them had to go home. Maybe it was lunchtime. And 4 of them went home. How many are still at the playground? So let's look. What would our first number be? I'm not going to write it. I want you to tell me. What would our first number be here? How many were on the playground to begin with? 8, yeah. And then 4 had to leave. So how many are we taking away? 4 had to leave. And then how many are left? And that would be our answer here. Now, can you make up your own story? Absolutely. Can you use my story? Sure, whichever you want. But we have to make sure that our numbers here match the picture and this picture matches the story. Okay? All right, you can pause this while you do that problem. All right, here's the next one. Listen to the word problem, draw to represent, and solve the problem. Write an equation to model the problem. I'm not going to tell you if it's addition or subtraction, but just to remember, addition, I have some and I'm adding to it, right? I have some and some more. Subtraction is I have a group and I'm taking away or I'm splitting apart. Okay, so listen to the story and tell me what you think. Listen to the word problem. Draw to represent to solve the problem. Write an equation to model the problem. Okay, there are 4 flowers in the garden. I'm going to do circles to represent 4 flowers in the garden. And then 4 more flowers grow. Let's read it again. There are 4 flowers in the garden and 4 more flowers grow. How many flowers are there now? So what would your equation be? Are we having some and adding more to it? So we have some and we're adding more to it, or do we have a total and we're taking away? Which do you think? I'm not going to tell you. All right, so pause this while you figure that out, okay? All right, good job. I need to clear those drawings there. Okay, listen to the word problem, draw to represent and solve the problem, then write an equation to model it. There are 3 birds sitting on a fence. 3 birds sitting on a fence. Four more birds join them. How many birds are on the fence now? So there were 3 sitting on a fence and 4 more joined them. Is that going to be adding to, or is it going to be taking away? I'm not going to tell you. You have to figure that out. All right. So now I want you to write the equation. All right. Including, so right here in these circles, this is where your plus or your minus sign goes, depending on if you're doing plus or minus. And this is where your equal sign goes. So your equal sign will be here. And right here, you have to decide if you're adding or if you're subtracting. All right. So are you adding or subtracting? There were 3 birds sitting on a fence and 4 more joined them. All right, you can pause this while you write that sentence or write the equation. Make sure the equation matches your picture. So those were 2 of the on your own. The last 2 are on your own. I want the rest of the on your own. I want you to go get your homeschool teacher and ask them to read the directions to you. And remember, it's your chance to show them how much you've learned about addition and subtraction. All right, have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.